Hi everybody, my name is Bianca. Welcome to Total Body 30. Today we'll have a 30-minute class where we're focusing on working out every muscle group in the body. So we'll have some strength-based exercises and a mixture of cardio-based exercises, and we'll try to squeeze everything in. We are gonna jump right into our warm-up. We're gonna spend about 5 minutes warming up. We'll cycle through 5 different movements and repeat each one twice. So we'll spend about 30 seconds on each movement. So I'm going to go ahead and start our timer, and I'll walk you through as we go. First, we're going to start out nice and gentle with some knee hugs. So drawing that knee up towards the chest and giving it a gentle pull in with the hands. While we're here, this may be a little bit challenging to balance. So think about bracing that belly, really squeezing that core, and start focusing on that posture. So having those shoulder blades rolled back and down, chest is tall and proud. A few more seconds here. And we're gonna switch to what I call a hamstring scoop. I'll show you from the side. Heel down, toes up. We're sending those hips back, trying to keep that leg straight and back flat, so that we feel the stretch all the way through the back of the leg, and we're just alternating sides as we go. We have about 10 seconds here. Really push those hips back behind you. Last 5. And we'll switch. We're gonna take it to a lunge. I'm gonna step forward, twisting towards that knee that's out in front. So again, thinking about that posture here, that way when we twist, we really feel it through that core. We don't have to get super low in that lunge. We will be doing some later, but right now we're just warming up. Getting some movement in those joints and getting the body prepared to work. Switching it up, we're gonna take a nice wide stance. We're gonna do some side lunges. So sinking down to one side, coming back up to center, and switching. So getting some movement through those hips. Again, go as low as you can. As we work, you might be able to get a little bit lower. We're thinking about driving that knee over the outside edge of the foot. So we don't want that knee falling in. Couple more seconds, then we'll switch to an inchworm. So kind of getting the whole body here, bringing it down, out into a plank, walking those hands back into the feet. So feeling a stretch through the hamstrings as we walk out, and then working that core in that plank and getting some movement through those shoulders. 10 seconds, then we'll bring it back to those knee hugs. 2 and 1, we'll stand it up. Back to those knee hugs. If you'd like to get the heart rate up a little bit more, feel free to take it to some high knees. I'm gonna stick with those knee hugs today, but do what feels right for you. Again, still thinking about that posture here, bracing that belly, working on that balance a little bit. We've got those hamstring stretches next. We'll switch it up. Alternating sides, shooting those hips back behind us, keeping the leg as straight as possible, and keeping that spine long. So trying to avoid curving that spine over. Should feel this all through the back of the leg. We have about 10 seconds here. Awesome, team. After this, we will go to that lunge. Let's switch it up. Big step forward, twisting towards that knee that's out in front. If it's comfortable to get a little bit lower this time, feel free to do so. Still focusing on that torso position, getting that big twist through the belly. Less than 10 to go here. Then we go to those side lunges. 2 and 1. Nice wide stance, sinking it down, up to center, alternating sides, thinking about driving those knees apart. And our chest is tall, so you can use those arms out in front to help keep that posture nice and upright. We have about 10 seconds here, then we'll finish with that inchworm. Good, sinking nice and low. Last 2. And for our inchworms, feel free to add a little challenge with a push-up if you'd like. It's optional. Walking those hands away from the feet into our plank, and then back into those feet. Really getting a full body stretch, full body warm up here. Activating several muscle groups all at once. Last 5. And rest. Nice job, team. I'm going to pause our timer. Feel free to grab a sip of water while I go over our first circuit for the day. We're going to spend 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest, and we're going to switch between 2 exercises, a lower body focused and then a upper body and core focused movement. So we're going to repeat that 3 times. Okay, so we're going to be spending a few minutes on this circuit. I have a step here. I'm going to give you options in case you don't have a step or an elevated surface at home. Okay, so first we have a lunge, but we're going to start on the step or the box. And we're just going to take a big step back, alternating legs. So essentially just a reverse lunge, but we're stepping off that box. Of course, if you don't have a step at home, we can just work on that reverse lunge. After that, we're going to do a push-up with a shoulder tap. If you'd like, you can elevate those feet to make that push-up a little bit harder, and then tap, tap. You can make this easier with the hands on the box. Push up, tap, tap. If you don't have a box, you can of course do that on the floor. We're gonna jump right in. Hopefully you got some rest while I was talking. 45 seconds on, 15 off, 3 rounds. Starting with those lunges in 2, 1, let's do it. Alternating legs on these lunges. Remember, if we don't have the step, that's totally fine. We can do this from the floor. If we are using that step and it's a little high, do not feel like you need to press that back knee towards the floor. You'll notice there's a good amount of space between my back knee and the floor, and I'm still feeling it. So don't push that range of motion to where it's uncomfortable or painful. We have about 10 seconds here, really focusing on the belly, focusing on keeping those shoulders back and down. 2, 1. Bringing it down. 15-second break. We have about 10 left. Going to that push-up shoulder tap combo. In 3, 2, 1. Push up and then tap, tap in between. So opposite hand to opposite shoulder, trying to keep that solid plank position through the body the whole time. The hips are going to want to rock as we do that tap. Really try to keep them steady. Try not to let the hips move. We're about halfway. Strong push, solid plank here. Remember, you can always flip this around. So feet can be on the box, or you can do this on the floor as well. Tap, tap, getting a combo of that upper body and that core work here. Last 2 and 1. 15-second break, going right back into those lunges. Taking a couple deep breaths. We should be feeling warm by now. In 3, 2, and 1. Back into those lunges. Take those first few reps to adjust that posture. Big shoulder roll, back and down. Squeezing that belly tight, drawing that belly button towards the spine. Taking a nice big step back. Our steps are controlled, so you don't have to go super fast. We'll get plenty of work in 45 seconds. Make sure it's controlled since we're taking a step off of a platform here. Almost there, team. 5. Finish it out. Rest. We've got that push-up combo. floor, feet on the bench, hands on the bench. Tons of options here. We go in 5, 2, 1, go. You can even do this on the knees, and we're still getting some work done here. Choose an option that works for you today. I will give you a tip for those shoulder taps. You might want to have those feet a little bit wider. We tend to have those feet really close together when we do planks and push-ups. To help with our stability, maybe make those feet a bit wider, and that will help us prevent that rocking through the hips. As we get more comfortable with this movement, then we can work those feet in closer together. 2, 1, rest. Woo, shake it out. We have one more round of that move. Lunge and then push-up combo. We go in 5, 2, 1. Let's finish it strong. Last time doing these lunges. Our posture is perfect here. We've rolled those shoulder blades back and down. They're locked in. We're bracing that belly nice and tight. We're taking big steps off of that block or back if we're on the floor. Feeling those legs working. They're strong. They're moving. We have 15. Last set, team. Make sure we're alternating those legs. Finish it out. For 3, 2, and 1. Nice job, team. 10 seconds till those push-ups. Last set. Make our way down to the mat. For 2, 1, let's go. Push up, tap, tap. Remember those feet. Remember, we can do this without a box. So we can do this on the knees. Tap, tap. We can do this in a plank. You can turn it around and do it with your feet on the box. There's tons of variations here. Make it work for you today. Keep going. Strong upper body here. Strong pushes away from the floor. Nice and steady, stable through that shoulder tap. 5 seconds. Squeeze those glutes so that those hips aren't sending back. Relax. Woo! Gonna stop our timer. Time for a water break. Take a couple sips. I'll go ahead and explain our next 2 movements. So we're going to use the bench again. I'll give you an option in case you don't have one. One foot will be planted on the box. This foot's just going to tap on either side. Dipping down, tap. Curtsy, tap. If we don't have a box, we're just going to work on that curtsy lunge. So going back kind of at an angle, back to top. Curtsy and up. That's our first one. After that, we've got some plank up downs. So in our plank position, going from the hands to the forearms, back up to the hands. You can make this more challenging by lifting those feet on the box. We're gonna get right into it, team. Same thing, 45 on, 15 off, in 3, 2, 1. Starting with those curtsies, 1 foot on the box. Staying on one side. We'll do the next leg the next time. Curtsy, tap. Curtsy, tap. Getting some single leg work here. 45 seconds. Still super important to be solid through that torso, because when we're working on one side, we tend to lose our balance, right? So bracing that belly will help us feel more stable. Should be feeling this in that leg that's on the box and those glutes. We have 5. And relax. Woo! Plank up downs are coming up next. Again, feet can be elevated on the box, or we can just do this on the floor. In 2, 1, let's go. From the hands to the forearms, back up to the hands. Same pro tip here, feet being a little bit wider will help you to be more stable. I want this slow and controlled. People like to see how fast they can go on these, but then they tend to get nice and rocky through those hips. So I really want to challenge you to squeeze those glutes and keep everything super stable. We're almost there. We have 10 seconds. I'm going to show you with my feet up. Awesome, team. 2, and relax. We're only going to do this one twice since we have a single side. So make sure we're putting that opposite foot up or we're curtsying on the floor. 2, 1, we dip, we tap, curtsy, tap. If we're on the floor here, curtsy lunge, back to center. Curtsy, back to center. Tons of options here. Trying to get some work on that front leg. Should be feeling this in the glutes especially. Again, bracing that belly. If you need to pause with the foot on top, that is okay. Regain that balance so we have control all the way through. You might notice that your second side is a little more wobbly. That's normal. We tend to do our better side first. Relax. Whew! That was our last set of those. Going into our plank up downs, making sure we're slow and controlled. Steady hips. Bringing it down. And let's go. Last set of these. Starting on the forearms, up to the hands, walking it back down. A lot of the time in planks, our hips end up here. So I want to challenge you to think about a straight line from head to toe and squeezing those glutes. We don't want to be a TP with the hips up high, so make sure everything's nice and in line. You can always drop those knees to do this as well. You'll still feel it in the core and the shoulders, I promise. We have about 5 seconds. Finish it out. And relax. Woo! Water break. That was a short one. We do have one more. Grab some water and I'll walk you through it. All right. This one got some more lower body, got some more upper body and core. We're gonna start with a glute bridge. So if we have our box, our feet will be elevated. And from here, we're just gonna squeeze the glutes, and press the hips up towards the sky. If you'd like, you can lift one foot and make this a single side. Of course, if you're at home, you can do this with the feet on the floor, and you can still lift to make it a single side. After that, we've got some mountain climbers. So we can leave those hands on the floor, driving those knees into the chest. We can put those feet on the box and go from there. Or we can do hands on the box and go from there, a little bit easier. Tons of options. We're starting with that glute bridge. We're gonna do 45, 15. We'll aim for 3 sets here. Going in 3, 2, 1. Let's start with those feet on the box. Big squeeze. Still important to keep those abs on. We've got a nice straight line when those hips are high. Straight line from knee to floor. Squeezing, really activating those glutes to press those hips up. We want to feel it in the glutes and not in the quads. Squeezing that belly as well. We have about 10 seconds. We're almost there. Finish it out. Legs should be burning by now. for 2, and relax. Woo! We'll roll it over. We've got hands on the box, hands on the floor, or feet on the box. Tons of options here. 2, 1, we're climbing some mountains. Drawing those knees into the chest. Same thing here, we don't want those hips to rise. So squeeze those glutes, and even if we want to slow down that knee drive, that is okay. Keep it going, team. Remember, we can bring it to the floor. You choose the speed that you're climbing. We're over halfway. Showing you all the options here. Hands can be on the box. No matter what, we're in a plank. Hips are in line, abs are on. We have about 5 to finish it out. Keep it moving. For 2, relax. Woo! Going back to that glute bridge. Making our way to the floor. We have 5, 2, 1. Feet on the box or on the floor. I'm gonna lift one leg up this time. Really concentrating on that glute. It's responsible for pressing those hips up, even though we've only got one leg down. Keep it moving. Squeezing that belly tight. I'm gonna switch sides. Stay with me, team. Both feet can be down. We can do single-sided. Let's finish it strong. We have less than 10. Pressing those hips up to the ceiling. Big squeeze. Rest. Woo! Got those mountain climbers in 10. We can be hands elevated. We can be hands and feet on the floor. We can have feet elevated. Let's go. 45. We control the pace that we're climbing. Knees can be slow and controlled. Knees can be nice and quick for that cardio burst. You pick the adventure today. Just make sure we've got a nice straight line. Working on those planks today. Lots of shoulder action. And make sure we're breathing through. We have one more set after this, and then we'll cool it down. Stay with me. About 10 seconds. Finish it out. Check those hips. Feeling it in those abs. For 2, relax. Woo! Last set of glute bridges. I'm gonna show you another variation in case you're interested. We'll go in 5, for 2, 1. Let's do it. So I have my shoulders resting on the box, and here I'm just gonna squeeze those glutes to press those hips to the ceiling. This is more of a hip thrust. If you have any weight at home, you can hold it on those hips, and that will make this harder. If this isn't working for you, you're not feeling this, feel free to go back to that glute bridge. Just wanted to give you another option in case you have a bench or something like that at home. Big squeeze. Really trying to target the back of the legs here, especially those glutes. We have 10 seconds. I'm imagining that I'm holding some weight here. For 3, 2, rest. Woo! Last set of mountain climbers, and then we're done. We're gonna cool it down. So finish it out strong. Give it all you got. Give it whatever you have left. We're starting now. Last 45 seconds. Remember, hands can be on the box. Hands and feet can be on the floor, or we can elevate those feet. You control the pace of those knees driving into the chest. Continually checking in with those glutes to make sure we're in that strong plank position. We're about halfway. I'm going to turn it around. Slow and controlled. Feet elevated here. Last 10. Stay with me, team. Last 10 seconds of work for the day. In 3, 2, relax. Woo! Awesome work, team. Feel free to grab some water before we cool it down. I'm gonna lower my mat off of the box. Give me some more space to stretch. Awesome, team. Once we've had some water, we'll go belly down on the mat, and we'll start with just a child's pose. So reaching those arms out in front, sending the hips back over the heels. You can let the forehead rest on the mat. I like to reach those fingertips forward so I feel a deeper stretch through the shoulders and back. Knees can be close together, or you can widen them, whatever feels more comfortable. This should feel really nice for those shoulders. We had so many planks today. We're gonna press into the hands. We'll tuck the toes, and we'll press up into downward dog. So pressing those hips high towards the ceiling. We can pedal those heels, trying to press them towards the floor, getting that stretch through the calves and the hamstrings. Still pressing into the floor, still feeling a bit of a shoulder stretch here. And starting to slow our breath, so taking deeper breaths, slowing that heart rate. I'm gonna step my left foot forward, up next to my hands for a nice runner's lunge here. Keeping that back knee lifted for now. I'm gonna circle that back ankle, get some movement in that joint. Make sure you switch directions. I'm gonna offer you to reach that inside elbow down for a deeper stretch. But if you feel a deep stretch on the hands, then that's fine too. Stay there. Coming back up to the hand, we'll drop that back knee and just press forward towards that hip. Feel a little bit deeper stretch. This whole time focusing on those inhales and exhales, taking deep, slow breaths. We'll send those hips back, straightening that front leg. Planting that front foot, we're gonna step it back. Stepping that opposite foot forward for that runner's lunge. Doing some of those ankle circles. Switching directions. If you'd like, lowering that inside elbow, or just holding that stretch on the hands. Planting that hand, we'll drop that back knee and just press forward into that hip. Sending those hips back, straightening that front leg, toes come up. Stretching through the back of the leg here. We're gonna cross this front leg in front of the body, keeping the back leg straight for a pigeon stretch, really stretching through those hips and glutes that we worked so hard today. And we'll switch sides, so tucking the back toes, sending that front leg back, and crossing that back leg in front. A few deep breaths here. You can always lower down to the forearms if it's not a deep enough stretch. And from here, we'll swing that back leg around so we come to a seated position. We're gonna quickly stretch through those shoulders, so one arm across the chest, giving it a gentle tug. And switching sides. across the chest, gentle tug, not right on the elbow joint, but in front of it or behind it. I'm going to stand it up, and we'll just finish with 2 big breaths. So big inhale and exhale. One more big inhale and exhale. Awesome job today. Thank you so much for joining me. Please fill out the survey in the description of this video so that you can give us your feedback. I want to wish you all a great day and a great end of your week. Thank you.